The Indian Civil War has begun, and on one side we have the Indian People's Republic that has broken out of British India, basing themselves mostly on Delhi and having the surrounding areas of Rajasthan, Indore, Jabalpur and a few more. And on the other side we have the loyalists, you could call them. They are still India, well they're called India here, but it's British India, the British Raj and whatever remains of it, still having Lord Linlithgow governing it, basing themselves in Bombay and having mostly the Dravidian speaking parts, I would say, and then a few more like Bengal and having Burma and stuff like that. Well, we keep Mandalay and Assam also in our nation, and mostly it's been dividing just 50-50, except that we have a bit less than 50% of the population, we have a bit less than 50% of the army, despite having almost 80-90% support for the communists when the Civil War started, which I find honestly to be a bit unfair. We deserved more, but it's as it is and we have to fight with what we have. And fight we shall. We're just gonna give it a day so the game will recognize all the changes. National focus bypassed, British pilot training. Wait, we bypassed that? We can get it. Oh, we got it. That's interesting. I guess that because it's a prerequisite to getting the expand airbase. But now we're locked out of a few more other things. We're going for Indian Gurkhas right now because we really do need to have some more infantry. We get one more unit, elite unit of Gurkhas. We get 2% more of our population that we can recruit. And then we can also recruit the Gurkhas, which are a pretty good army here. And I've been... I'm looking through the focus tree now. And since we did it through an event rather than going through this focus, the Indian People's Army, which would spark the Civil War, I wonder, this says there, it's not in a civil war. So if we finish the civil war and we win, will we be able to take it and then go on to claim the benefits? Otherwise we have fucked up completely and will lock ourselves from most of the reason for actually going down this route. And we also, like, if we look here, going for Indian National Congress, you do get a bunch more focuses. You get, like this one, Imperial Service Troops, you get 5% recruitable population factor, and you get some really nice things here, like fighter funds. So honestly, there's very little reason to go down the Swaraj route, I figure, because sure, it will take you a bit longer if you go down the other route to independence, but if you go through the Crifts mission and then quit India movement, you will still lose autonomy every day, because you won't be able to get away from that. But if you just build up some convoys and then when the war starts, you can just send United Kingdom a bunch of convoys and become independent in no time. And after you become independent, you can just put, you know, this guy on daily communist support and go through communism that way when you're a free nation. So, I don't know. This might be a bit more inefficient, but we play to have fun. And, you know, also to be slightly efficient, but mostly to have fun. And now we need a commander for our troops. We have 8 divisions, and we will pick. We have 3 to pick from. We have Yayanto Naf Chowdhury. I don't know how to pronounce these things. Or things, these people, these, these generals. He's a panzer leader, and we have no panzer troops, so he doesn't seem to be very worthwhile. He's 3 in skill, so not too shabby. We also have Kodendera Subaya Timaya. He's a jungle rat, which sounds to be pretty good in India, but India actually doesn't have many, you know, jungle regions. We're looking through here, there's mostly mountains and some forest and plains. And over here, there's forest, plains, and mountains. Hills also. Plains, 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 a bit of forest, but other than that, mountain, and plains and forest. No actual jungle anywhere to be seen. Even over here, there's mountains, desert, here's some jungle. But we won't really be going through here, so that doesn't actually affect us too much. Same thing over here in Balochistan. There's mostly mountain, deserts. You know, mountain and desert over there. So mostly we have plains and forests to deal with, and mountains. So I think going for Kodendera Madapa Karlapa. Yep, Karlapa. He has 4 in skill, so he's a slightly bit better in that regard. But he doesn't have any, like, jungle rat. So we go with him. He gives overall the most for us. We have an issue right now with our factories not producing basically anything at all, and we do need our infantry equipment pretty rapidly. So I think we're going to have to trade a little bit with United States What the hell? We need to trade this mud? We can only trade for up to... Well... We're still exporting? I thought we weren't able to do that, considering... I don't understand. How can we trade when we don't have the steel? How do we have the trade deal still and we don't have the steel? So if I have to do this, how much do we need? We need 2 steel. Okay, let's import 8 then. And hope that that is enough. I don't understand. And then we have to disperse these troops. I think we're going to have to use these troops manually. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not saying I'm more efficient than the computer, but hopefully I am. And mostly concentrate on the area around Bombay, since we do really need to have the Bombay area taken and held. They have most of their forces over here right now. This army can go and cut off, so if there's any forces over here, they will be cut off from supply, unless they use convoys. Which they probably will be able to, on a second thought. And now let's just see what the AI does, and we'll probably slow down time a bit. I played through some civil wars in the past, and the AI is not 100% efficient in all of them. So hopefully that will be the case over here as well. I'm not sure though. It might turn really efficient on me. Apparently that worked, just getting 8. Oh, and now it solved itself. Now they cancel all the exports. And since we do need to have some extra steel, and most of the steel is here in Bombay area, we also have some in Orissa, and Bengal also has some territory. We were kind of screwed when it comes to resources themselves. But at least we have fairly decent armies, so we should be able to gain some ground relatively quickly, depending on how fast we actually get rolling. If we take everything that is north of this river here, we can then try to head for Bombay afterwards, and try to take that out. We will try to advance as carefully as possible. And since we can advance across the river and then not have to fight the defenders on the other side of the river, we shall do so with that unit. And these two will just move on. Take that mountain, that is a fairly good defensive position. It's right outside Bombay. Now it almost feels like I'm playing Civilization. And try to get crossing the river over there. I wonder where the enemy is. But we have Hyderabad here, and that's a pretty good city to keep. So if we can take it, we shall take it. Other than that, we will try to knock them out. So a division here that I almost forgot about. So I will strategically redeploy them as close to the border as possible. Okay, go right outside Bombay. And this one is heading here, so let's take Hyderabad. Where is the enemy? That's a good question. Okay. United Kingdom, what are you doing here? Get out of my territory. You're not welcome here anymore, United Kingdom. Okay, these ones can move to this river. I wonder what the name of this river is. I don't know the rivers. I know the Ganges, but isn't that way over here? They have a lot of rivers in India, I gotta say. This one I completely forgot about. You can strategically redeploy over here. We are actually gaining ground very quickly. And if this keeps up, we will be ending the civil war even before we met any of their troops. Apparently they have no divisions left. Okay, so that was surprisingly... I hyped this up. I thought it was going to be a real civil war, and all their troops just disappeared. What the hell is that? What's that supposed to be? Did they also all fall to Britain? Or something? Okay, let's go take Calcutta then, and we'll be done. Right, this is anticlimax if I've ever seen anything to be described that way. I was hoping for a glorious, glorious civil war that would last through the ages and be sung by the people while they're drinking ale in the tavern, and suddenly we're in some sort of medieval fantasy. Oh, I would like to see a medieval fantasy game in Indian setting. Having Indian myths and legends and stuff like that. Mythology to draw from. Would be pretty cool. I heard there was a game that was like that, but for African mythology. And I would like to pick that up. Okay, they suddenly got soldiers again. 1 division. And is losing. And that is after reaching it. Is it newly deployed or something? Let's strike back. Keep them on the run. So how close until India has fallen? Fairly close. Fairly close. There's got to be one more city down here that we haven't taken, right? No, apparently not. Okay, then redeploy all these troops. Is there any... Okay, pause. Is there anything over here in Baluchistan that is worth of taking? Apparently not. I was pretty sure there's got to be at least one city over there that's worth having. Bihar, however, could be useful. So let's take that one. Since we have managed to defeat them over here, we should probably go to Dhaka. We have taken Calcutta and Dhaka, and then we have Bihar. And that should be mostly it. I don't think there's anything else. The British became very, very active in this region all of a sudden. Can we change our export focus to limited exports or something? We could use the resources, but in the future. For now we will go limited conscription, so we have more people to draw from when we're making units. Okay, head for the main city, and then have some support units in the vicinity, should it be needed. Okay, Dhaka is taken, Indian Gurkhas is ready, and Czechoslovakia was taken. So where is... Oh, there they are, veterans. SOG submits to Italy. When will India submit to India? Apparently we have to go all the way to Rangoon in order to win. Oh, I love that name. Rangoon. It's pretty cool. Apparently we ended up fighting the only unit they had left. Or they made. We got some more free civilian factories, so we will probably make some military factories now, so we could definitely use that. Cancel that factory. Civilian factories take longer to make than the military factories, so you kind of want to get them done in the beginning, so you don't have to face them later on. And soon we will see if the Indian People's Army will be able to be taken or not. For now we will go for Indian Gentleman's Officer. And honestly, the Civil War should be ending any moment now. Probably when we take Rangoon. By then we should have taken pretty much all the cities that they have. It controls 40% of victory points. Really? It does? Ah, Rangoon were 5. And for some reason, stuff... Oh, there we go. That was over. That was fairly fast. So congratulations, India. We're free and we're communist. And now let's see if it is possible. Wonderful. We didn't screw ourselves. That's excellent. We also generated some world tension, I'm sure. 8% by the Treaty of Rangoon, even. So we have done it. We're a free nation. All hail India. And also, I'd never shown that, or I forgot to show it. But if you looked at India while they existed, the India that was generated to be our opponent, they used the generic focus tree. Not the Indian focus tree, but the generic one. So if you, for some reason, had loaded a save and played as them instead, perhaps you would have lost the Indian focus tree. Or maybe not. Okay, time is rolling. We now still only have 2 military factories. Actually lost 1 military factory, what the hell? We have 1 unit that we can deploy. There's no... There we go, we can deploy over there. Yeah, we definitely need more military factories now. And now we have to look to the future. We could go and make sure that Siam doesn't join the Japanese. We could see if the Soviet Union wants us to join their faction. We can ask them if, to invite us. We can do that, or we can just wait. And marginalized Muslim community, I really want to do something about that. I wonder how. I wonder how that should be done. I'm not sure if you can. Because I know that if you take... if you go the independence route from here, and when I tried on my own, I took Indian National Congress, Cripps Mission, Princely State donations, and then I missed these things and also these things. And then quit India movement. And that was all I did. And then when I became free, for some reason, I had lost that part. We have already lost the risk of famine, and we got that for no reason really. So how do you get rid of the marginalized Muslim community? Perhaps if you let Pakistan go, that could be a thing. And maybe that's a thing that we should do. We're communists after all. Maybe we should let them. Or maybe we shouldn't. Okay, anyway, I don't think we need to import from the United States anymore, so we can get back that military or civilian factory to produce more. We actually have a substantial amount now. And now we got a new weapon, so we have to redo all the weapons from the beginning. That's gonna suck. We could also go for this thing, or what could probably be most important, getting advanced machine tools. And Germany joined the Axis. The war should start relatively soon. Yeah, in fact, they are dancing or war on us. But probably will result in war. Just being honest. Okay, we have Indian Gentleman's Officer, Indian People's Army. Let's go down that route so we don't end up in anything unfortunate. Do they have any... Is in faction with Soviet Union? Okay, so we need to be in faction with the Soviet Union in order to get all this. And probably we could get some more help from the Soviet Union if we're joining them. So now we have joined the Comintern. We are part of the Comintern after all. India. And Communist Soviet Union, I mean. And then we have the Soviet, Communist China to release as well. I am slightly tempted to release Pakistan. Pakistan doesn't... Oh, come on, can I just accidentally not... I hate when I accidentally press one of these and end up in that mode. But yeah, we could release Pakistan. Because see, here's the thing that would happen. We will release these two areas, this one, apparently this one, and Kashmir. So it's a substantial amount. It's not too many slots. It's not too worthwhile. We have only a few factories in total that are placed in those regions. And then we would lose East Bengal. And East Bengal has 3 civilian factories, which would suck to lose, but it wouldn't be too much. And they don't have any resources here. They barely have any resources over here that we would lose. So Pakistan would be a resourceless society. We would lose some population, definitely quite a bit of population, but we would get rid of that 20% marginalized Muslim community, I hope. So perhaps that should be a thing. Release Pakistan. Actually, I will leave it up to you. You will get to decide if Pakistan will be released in... I mean, after all, if we release them, they'll probably be communists, so that would be pretty cool. And we could be best friends. Pakistan and India, best friends forever, It seems like a reasonable thing that could happen. Most definitely. We now have 10 divisions. We can change a law if we want to. Service by requirement we cannot do, but we can go extensive conscription if we would like to. No reason to do that though. We have 922,000 men to draw from. We could go for an aircraft designer, light aircraft for example. We'll probably be using fighters mostly, if we ever get to that point. We mostly have to focus on getting an army at the moment. But if we ever get to that point, we can make light aircraft designer and use the Hindustan aircraft designer for it. And it will be pretty nice. We are only 2,000 behind. The good thing about switching when you're playing stuff like India and whatnot, when you start with so low, is that you haven't really made too many equipment to replace. We're still behind on equipment. From new deployments, 2,148 each time we want to deploy something. And we are working on 3 divisions in total at the same time. But we have put down quite a few. The only fortunate thing with civil war is that you lose you lose almost half your army. We would have had far more if we hadn't resolved to civil war. But what's the fun of being India if you can't have a civil war to make sure that everyone becomes communist? In fact, the Indian National Congress only has 1.39% and is lowering every day. We still have 0.01 daily change. 3 military factories. Well, let's throw to more infantry equipment. So yeah, to mention that thing again, if you want to be part of the Commonwealth and break yourself free, be a free independent nation but still be a democratic or whatever, make sure to build like 15, say 10 naval bases or naval dockyards. Make convoys the entire game. And then at 1939, when the war starts, you can export them to Great Britain and become independent. What you also can do is, when the war starts, you can ask France, Belgium, whatever, for Lend-Lease, because that won't lower your autonomy. And then you can, offer Lend-Lease to United Kingdom and send all those materials to United Kingdom. So you siphon off all your other allies and send it to United Kingdom for more autonomy. You're, playing the game. You are... Holy shit, there's a lot of war over here. How come I can see this? Is that they have something with Soviet Union? Ah, volunteers, of course. Can we send volunteers? Volunteers, send volunteers. Need at least 30 divisions. Ah, no, that's unfortunate. So we need a hell of a lot more volunteers. And by that time, probably Japan will have won. So what we will do with our divisions, on that hand, is we currently have 18 combat width. We will add, I think we will add 1 artillery that will generate 3 combat width. We will then remove 1 infantry, which would be at 19. Then we'll add 1 more and then we'll remove 1 infantry. So we'll have 2 artillery, remove 2 infantry, and have support artillery, support anti-tank, and recon company, probably engineer company as well. But that's in the future. Those are just, roughly what we will do. And since we have that idea that it's possible for them to be free, Pakistan, we won't build anything in Pakistani areas. Because why would we build things that we could get, lose out on? That's not very wise. West Bengal is part of ours still, so there we go. German Reich, the war has started. And this time we won't be called into it, which is beautiful. United Kingdom is still not joining the war, but it will very, very soon. Very, very soon. So yeah, I think this will be the end. What? I was going to say this would be the end, and now suddenly there's a civil war on our hands. Wait, what? What the hell? Game? What? We lost all of our men except for 2 divisions. What is this? What is this supposed to mean? We had over 10 units. And when I finished that natural focus, it became a second civil war. We already won the civil war, and this time we're on the other side. What? What? Oh no. Okay, there's, for anyone, beware if you're playing India and become communist. If you become communist through events and not through the national focus, you will have to have 2 civil wars. Otherwise, you won't be able to get for the research city excursions and Rani of Jans and whatnot. You won't be able to get there because, it will be too dangerous. You will have civil wars on your hand. Okay, so I guess next episode we will have to fight out the second civil war of India. Between India and India's People's Republic. At least now we have... Don't tell me that it will be able to call in United Kingdom and France and Poland into the war. Don't tell me that that's a thing. Because if so, I will be pretty mad. We just won the civil war. We were building our army. And not only that we only got 2 divisions. They only have 2 divisions. So most of our army is gone. Most of the army is gone and we will have to rebuild it from scratch. What the hell is going on in this game? I do not know, but we will see next time the exciting continuation of the second civil war of India. I'll see you then.